Hello and welcome back to our 31 Days of Horror Advent Calendar. Today it's day 14, Friday, October the 14th, and we're talking about 1978's Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead is George A. Romero's sequel to 1968's Night of the Living Dead. The story goes, the zombie apocalypse becomes more of an epidemic and these brain-eating zombies rise from the dead. Two Philadelphia SWAT team members hook up with a television reporter and his TV executive girlfriend to take refuge in a secluded mall.
This movie is written and directed by George A. Romero, the man responsible for launching the modern lore of zombie and making it, honestly, as popular as it is. It was really hard for me to leave Night of the Living Dead off this list. But I definitely want to make sure I got a Romero zombie movie on this list, and I knew that this one had to be the one. It really did solidify a lot of the zombie tropes that we know and love today.
Yeah, I actually saw Zack Snyder's 2004 remake before I saw George A. Romero's 1978 classic Dawn of the Dead. Even though I really did enjoy Zack Snyder's remake, there's definitely something that this one has that one doesn't have. I love everything that was really going on in this movie. Seeing the zombies in this film, the way that they act and the way that they come after people and they start eating flesh and just the way that they look, the makeup, I think is all really fun. There's a lot of gross out stuff that goes on pretty early on too, like that SWAT raid that they do in that house. I thought that was actually really creepy. How they just start kind of waking up and the guys are already kind of accustomed to it. They've already been seeing it. They've already been experiencing this post-apocalyptic world, and I loved seeing them just kind of in the middle of this raid and having to deal with it.
Yeah, I really like how this movie just sort of thrusts you into the full-on apocalypse. It doesn't have a bunch of preamble, doesn't try to explain itself. It just tosses you into this situation at this tenement and the SWAT team coming in to raid it. There's definitely some things in this movie that are a little dated, like maybe some of the
Puerto Rican face?
The Puerto Rican face. But no, there's a lot of definitely like 1978 racism in there for you. But honestly, though, I think it's all just kind of a part of just kind of the raw, gritty, dirty feeling in this movie, and I really like that. It has this backyard feel to it. Like everything was done in a way that you could see you and your buddies haphazardly throwing some of these things together, literally throwing people off ledges, which is really, honestly...
brutally injuring cast members.
No, it's just really enjoyable. The rawness of this film, like I said, is really fun to watch. These things get put together. I think that's the fun thing of it, I think, is that you can see like a lot of the lines, you can see the edges of these things, and kind of see how they were doing that. And it kind of makes you think, you know what, I could pick up and make a movie too.
Yeah.
Tom Savini was the one who did the stunts and the makeup design in this, and I know he's come out and talked about how dissatisfied he was with the blood, which was a mixture of like peanut butter and corn syrup and something like that, and it looked a little too fluorescent. But I think there's something about that I just find to be really charming.
I think a lot of blood effects in the 70s had a fluorescent or like an orange tint too. I mean, none of it's perfect. Everything's you're gonna have that dated feel to it, but that's something to cherish in and of itself.
It definitely looks like a movie that you and your friends could have made in the backyard, and I think that's like a lot of the fun of it. But at the same time, though, it is really scary, and you get to see these things that we're so familiar with established for the first time. George A. Romero really did invent, or at least reinvent, zombie lore and how zombie movies and TV shows like The Walking Dead now, how they work, and you really see that this is establishing those things that we see now in such a huge show in The Walking Dead. I mean, just the idea of them taking over this mall, much like how they take over the prison and places like that. I think that really, like the Night of the Living Dead, it's more of them in a farmhouse, really similar to like season 2 and stuff like that. So you see the groundwork getting laid, and I think that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, they definitely pushed it up to the next level, and what really became what is now every zombie film, basically. Even when the gang of other people who are like, out to steal, rob, loot, and whatever, take over their mall from them. That's something that you see. That's a trope that you see in every zombie film since then, basically. So.
It's the original zombie apocalypse picture, and that's definitely why it had to make the list. So guys, check this one out for your Friday, October 14th. That's been our short review. We hope that you guys follow along all month with us as we do 31 movies for our 31 Days of Horror Advent Calendar. It's been a ton of fun putting these together for you guys, and I hope you guys are following along and enjoying this. Remember, like and subscribe. Comment down below on your thoughts of Dawn of the Dead. Maybe you like the remake better. Maybe you think the remake should have never happened. I know people love Zack Snyder movies and they never disagree about them. So tell us down below. Also remember, follow us on Twitter at BacktoFeature. We'll talk about horror movies all month long in October, and we'll talk about movies all year round with you as well. I've been Giovanni Carlo.
I'm John Vandeloo.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
We are down to the line, folks. We are down to the line.
Dawn